Hello everybody, Heckendoc here, coming to you with another MekHQ tutorial. In today's video, we are going to be going over how to utilize reinforcements and deploy reinforcements to a scenario. We are going to be covering how to utilize a commander's leadership ability in order to bring along additional units, how a leader's tactics ability can also allow you to bring along additional units, and then finally, we're going to be going over utilizing support points to bring along additional lances. Now, there's going to be a lot of overlap in this video with both previous and future videos. That's largely because MekHQ is complicated, and there is going to be a lot of overlap between a lot of different topics. And a little bit of repetition never hurt anybody. If you find something that doesn't pertain to you, try skipping ahead just a little bit and see if you can get to a spot that helps you out. Now, let's go ahead and jump on in to our game. So we're going to be going along with the Night Brigade. This is my personal off-stream campaign that I play when nobody else is watching, but today we get to share it with you. So you can see down at the bottom, we have a new crisis scenario, Spaceport Allied Evacuate. And on the right-hand side, you can see that we have a number of lances that are available to us. Now, we are going to set Alpha Lance to a frontline lance. This is going to be important in a moment. If you ever forget about the kind of special abilities or the additional things that different combat roles can do, number one, you can go back to my combat roles video and check that out. Or in that center overview section, you can scroll down to the combat roles and you can see what all of the different combat roles bring to the table. So let's start off by deploying our primary lance to a scenario. So we're going to right click, deploy, and we're going to select Alpha Lance because that's going to be the primary lance. From there, we're going to say, yes, absolutely, I want to deploy this unit. From there, you get a pop-up window called the Scenario Setup Wizard. This gives you an overview of what the scenario is, what the hostile BV is, what your BV is, all of that fun stuff, as well as when the battle happens and when everybody comes home from it. Going down a little bit, you can see this first window or this first set of text. This is the ability for a lance to bring additional units based on the commander's leadership ability. This allows you to bring additional auxiliary units along on a mission in order to help you out. The special thing about this is that it does not require the use of any support points. So if you are finding yourself really hurting for support points, but you need a lot of help, or at least a little bit of help to make sure that you can win the day, this can be an absolute game changer in making sure that you don't fall flat on your face. How this works is for every level of leadership point that commander has, you get 500 BV that you can utilize towards a reinforcement up to a maximum of 5 units. So in this case, my leader or my commander has a leadership ability of 3, allowing me to bring 1,500 additional BV. And the BV is calculated before the crew BV is added. So this is base unit BV, not recalculated BV based on the unit. So as an example, maybe we want to bring, I don't know, let's go ahead and bring along a couple of warrior attack helicopters. So we'll bring along 2 warrior attack helicopters. This is a total of 587 BV, which means we will be A-OK, and we are not going to be going over. Then, because this is a frontline lance that we are deploying, we also have the ability to deploy additional infantry, battle armor, or minefields. This is determined by the commander's tactics ability. So my commander has a tactics of 2, if I remember correctly, and this allows them to bring along 4 additional infantry, battle armor, or minefields that can be deployed at the beginning of that scenario. So what I can do if I want is I can take 1, 2, 3 infantry, and we can scrunch down the window a little bit so we can scroll on down. And you can see that we are taking 3 infantry with us in addition to taking 1 minefield. So now we can decide, do we want to commit Alpha Lance in any selected auxiliary units? Why, yes, I would. Now, all of them are committed. When we select that scenario, you can see we have Alpha Lance as well as all of the additional units that were selected during that wizard or during that pop-up window. From there, maybe that just wasn't quite enough for you. Maybe you need some additional forces to really make sure that you win. You can deploy additional forces either from frontline, maneuver, patrol, or auxiliary units to any scenario utilizing support points. Now, just as a reminder, your auxiliary and your maneuver units will get advantage on their roll to see if they are able to successfully reinforce. When I say advantage, this means that when they roll to see if they're able to reinforce a unit, that they roll twice and they take the higher of the two rolls. So in order to reinforce a scenario, you right-click on the scenario again, click deploy, and then any additional units which you would like to utilize to reinforce your units, such as perhaps aerospace units, you click on, or you can control click on multiple units. Just understand that the cost of those support points might change. So we'll utilize our aero support, which is an auxiliary unit. We'll commit. Then you get a pop-up that tells you what your target number is. This is the number that you have to roll in order to successfully reinforce. If you fail on this roll, at best, you will arrive late. At worst, you will have a complete failure and you will be intercepted, which will generate a second scenario that you now have to tackle, and you may or may not be prepared for. So just be aware of that. Now, you can change what this target number is by a variety of ways. The base target number is going to be essentially based on what your contract is. The administration skills, your administration skill. This should be determined by the command administration skills. The enemy morale, or the morale of the contract, also changes what the role is. So the base target number for us today is 8. You can spend one additional support unit to decrease what that target number is. From there, you can click either reinforce or reinforce instantly. If you select reinforce, then the round in which those reinforcing units arrived will be determined by the speed of the slowest mech or the slowest unit in that reinforcing unit, as well as the strategy of the commander of that unit. So if you have a unit that has a commander that has a very high strategy skill, in addition to having fast units, they might arrive almost instantly. However, if you have a pile of awesomes that are trundling along with a commander that has no strategy skill, it might be, at best, turn 6 or 7 before they get there, or at worst, turn 27 or 28. You might be waiting a minute. That is where the Reinforce Instantly button comes in. Reinforce Instantly allows for any of those reinforcing units to arrive on turn 1, so they arrive at the same time as that primary force for the scenario. However, it costs you. This means that you will be paying twice what you normally would for support points. So if you're going to be spending 2 support points, then it'll cost you 4 support points instead. Now, another thing to keep in mind is for each unit that you are reinforcing with, it costs 1 support point minimum. So if I set additional support points to 0, this will cost me 1 support point to reinforce. If I hit reinforce instantly, it should cost me 2 support points. If I add 1 additional support point and I just reinforce, that will cost me 2 support points. If I have 1 additional support point and I reinforce instantly, that should cost me 4 support points, so on and so forth. Now, in this case, I think a target number of 6 is reasonable since we'll be rolling twice. And utilizing aerospace units, they should get there pretty quick. So we'll just reinforce. Now, going to Command Center, if you have a unified log, you'll just see what the roll was. If you are utilizing the tabbed log, under the Command tab, you will see the roll that was made. Now, in version 50.11, it only reports the higher of the 2 rolls. So it just reports that same roll twice. It is rolling twice, I promise you. In version 50.12, when it comes out, that's fixed. It'll show you both rolls within the parentheses. Have no fear. But you can see we rolled a 9 against a 6, reinforcement success. Now, just to show you an example of what this is going to look like then, we can now see our Alpha Lance, Aero Support Lance, as well as all of our other units. So why don't we go ahead and go into the game? So in the lobby of our Mega Mech game, you can see all of our mechs that are from the primary unit are arriving on round 1. Additionally, all of the auxiliary units that we also selected are coming in on round 1. Finally, our aerospace unit, which succeeded in its role, is also going to be arriving at the very beginning. So we are not going to be waiting for any of our reinforcements. Okay, folks, this has been your overview of reinforcements for MekHQ. Hopefully you found it useful. I probably missed something along the way, so if you think of anything that I missed, go ahead and leave it down in the comments below, and that very first comment is going to be any errata or any updates to the video until I can make a new one in the future. If you're finding these videos helpful, I would really appreciate if you subscribe to the channel, maybe hit that little bell so you know when new videos come out in the future. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, leave a comment down below with what you would have liked to have seen done better. And if you are watching this video on the day that it comes out, tonight at 8 o'clock, hop on over to twitch.tv/heckandoc and join us for a live stream with the Billion Brigade and kind of see what it looks like when you're playing this live. We would love to see you there. Anyways, that's all I have for now. Take care. Happy hunting.